This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Friday, July 19th, 2019. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. For the first time, there'll be 2 starting points for the Republic Bank Grand Kadooment on the same day. The National Cultural Foundation announced in a release yesterday that some revelers will move off from Warrens, a location that was tried before but was scrapped, while others will start at the new National Botanical Gardens. In its statement, the NCF said the decision was taken with the approval of the Barbados Association of Masqueraders and Independent Masquerade Bands, as well as the Royal Barbados Police Force. Revelers at Warrens St. Michael will move off at 8 a.m., while those at the National Botanical Gardens, Codrington St. Michael, will do the same at 8:30. Bands that begin at Warrens will proceed along Green Hill, across Codrington Road to parade in front of the judges, and then move on to Station Hill, Bank Hall Cross Road, Eagle Hall to Black Rock Main Road, and left at the Frank Worrell Roundabout onto the Mighty Griner Highway. The bands at the National Botanical Gardens will parade in front of the judges on Codrington Road and then continue along the usual route to the Mighty Griner Highway. And still with crop over, the economic conditions in the country are hitting bands hard. Veteran band designer Gwyneth Squires tells Barbados Today she has seen a decline in numbers for her band for both Junior Kadooment and Grand Kadooment. Squires, who has won the Large Band of the Year title on numerous occasions, is this year catering for 250 revelers for both competitions. That's down from last year's estimated 280 revelers for Junior Kadooment. Despite those challenges, she's moving ahead with preparations for the festival and has begun distributing costumes.
Because some of them are not working, some of them got laid off and so on, and it's a pity. We have to wait and see how things work out. But other than that, I don't think it will be a good festival like years ago. What we are doing is making the individuals, but the children costumes are finished. Which is the sections, but he is finishing up the individuals there. The king, but the queen, the individuals and the couples, they are all making right now, but all their costumes are finished.
Squires is among those benefiting from the duty-free concessions for entertainers that took effect on June 4th. And while she was happy with the measure that was announced by the NCF, she says there were other financial concerns.
You see, if you pay from wherever you are, like China and Trinidad and so on, and they pay to ship it, there's no problem there. But if they don't pay, you have to, because it's only yesterday I went and paid 1,000 change, and that hurt me. When I could have done something else with that money, But the tax waivers with the customs and so on, that is not a problem. That is sweet. That was real nice. But other than that, if they don't pay from where it comes from, you have a problem.
In other news, it's another landmark ruling by the Caribbean Court of Justice. This time, the CCJ has given a nod for Queen's Counsel Andrew Pilgrim to bypass the Court of Appeal. The decision is due to the time being taken by the Court of Appeal to rule in the case of Omar da Costa Holder, who was found guilty of the 2005 triple murders of 20-year-old Sakina Walron, her 3-year-old son and 2-month-old daughter. Holder was sentenced to death in 2010, but Pilgrim appealed the sentence 3 years later. To date, he hasn't been able to get a judgment.
I'm heartened by the fact that the CCJ takes this situation, unique situation, of having an appellant have to wait for 6 years or more for a decision, and waiting so long that eventually the court is really dissipating. So I'm really delighted that CCJ is allowing Omar Holder the opportunity to move forward in his case and to have some sort of resolution in his case eventually. Because as we know, that court ought not to take anything like 6 years to give its decision. So it's as if virtually, as the court said, we have leapfrogged the Barbados Court of Appeal. And it's our hope that we can file our documents now and basically begin the process anew, because basically we've wasted over 6 years waiting on the Barbados Court of Appeal, because really it failed to do its job completely.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In Grenada, the CEO of the agency in charge of promoting and organizing the country's carnival is being accused of assault by a businesswoman. The incident reportedly occurred yesterday, as we hear in this GPN News report.
Can I sell monkey at the carnival? If you have
Hello. My feet.
No, well, sorry, you come. Can I sell monkey at the carnival?
Hey, boss. Camera boss, you're the country. No. This is a lady brother. This is a lady brother.
He broke my hand.
I break your hand, man?
Yes, you have. All I'm asking you is, can we sell?
The scene that unfurled at the SMC's office just before midday today. Owner and CEO of Monk Pure Water, Rolanda McQueen, went to the Spice Mass Corporation's office minutes after a press conference that outlined recent legal action taken against the corporation. McQueen said her reason for visiting the SMC was to again seek permission to sell Monk Pure Water at SMC events and provide work for her 200-plus employees.
My arms. I just want to go to the doctor. My arms.
What did he exactly do?
He squeezed me in the door. He shut the door on my shoulder. He tried to kick me out of there.
And finally, internationally, ministers from G7 top economies yesterday reached consensus on steps towards an accord on taxing digital giants. The issue has divided the US and its allies, Britain and France.
The United States notably not very happy about that. The US Trade Representative is investigating whether the measure is unfair to American companies, and if so, they could eventually impose tariffs as a result of it. Now, as the host of this G7 finance ministers meeting, Bruno Le Maire, the French finance minister, intends to continue his defence of this project. He's going to be meeting the US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin a little bit later. In an interview published in today's Le Figaro newspaper, Mr. Le Maire said that he will tell Steven Mnuchin that France is a sovereign state that decides its own tax policy, and that is something that he has already said to Steven Mnuchin, and he said that he'll be saying it again to him when they meet later.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.